Welcome to Conversations with Haych, and we have a superb special guest. Superb special, not just superb, not just special, but superb special guest. She's award-winning radio, TV, and podcast host of Candid with Lady T, COVID-19 and Me, and Lyrically Speaking podcast. The amazing Affinity Extra presenter. You'll see her on the Homegrown show every week. She has hosted Thy Kingdom Come in Trafalgar Square, and she's also interviewed the likes of Kev on Stage, Miss Karen Gibson, Michelle Williams, Kojo the comedian, Letitia Wright, and many more. She's the chair of the GMIA UK, that's Gospel Ministry Alliance. She's a ray of sunshine, the smiley, the bubbly, down to earth. See, I tried. Let me just before hold on. Let me tell you what. Let me tell you. So originally I was gonna say your whole name, but I got lost. And I didn't want to be disrespectful in getting lost.
That's so funny.
So all I got was Tulupe. See, already lost.
That's so lovely. That's so funny.
And a peg back. That's it. I got the
You got that part right.
So I call it also known as Lady T. How you doing?
I'm so good. Do you want me to help you to pronounce it?
Let's try it.
Okay, so it's Tolulokwe.
See that part, that was spinning me. That was spinning my head because I was Tolupwe. How do you even get how
easy? It's just the pronunciation. It's how you like be. So Tolulokwe. Tolulokwe. Like it's okay. It's alright. It's cool. It's Tolulokwe. By the end, we'll see if we can do it again.
Nah, don't put that pressure on me. Now I'm not even able to ask you those questions when I'm thinking about.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. You tried.
So for those who don't know who you are, who is Lady T and who is Talu?
Okay. Oh my gosh. So this is so weird, and it's so weird listening to all the things you just said. I was like, oh, okay. It's like, all right, interested. So Lady T is, I guess, a media personality. So I do radio, I do TV, I do podcasting, anything to do with media related. That's me. And then Tolu or Tolulokwe. I'm actually using Tolulokwe more than I will. Because I used to use Tolu before, but now I'm using Tolulokwe more. So Tolulokwe is just your regular, sometimes shy, believe it or not, shy, can be shy, and chilled out person, friend, and I think that's it really. I don't know.
Is that it? Shy though?
I don't know if I'm shy, maybe just like
reserved. That's
the word. Mm-hmm. Yes, I can be reserved. Some people find it hard to be that I can be reserved, but trust me, in the right spaces, very reserved. So very, very reserved. And you wouldn't know I was there or just wouldn't think that I would be speaking and stuff like that. So yeah, so the Tolulokwe can be very reserved as well. So yeah.
In 3 words, describe family life and childhood. And why? Those 3 words.
3 words, family life and childhood. My gosh, it was, I think one of them would probably be heartbreaking, but I'll tell you why in a bit. It was fun, and it was, oh my gosh, like, I guess, I don't know if it's a word, but growing up quite quickly, like becoming an adult quite quickly as well. So yeah.
So why those 3 words?
So why those 3 words? So fun. I'll start with fun.
Let's start high.
Let's start high and then
let's see
slowly drop. And then slowly drop. So fun because I think my childhood was quite fun because I was living in Nigeria.
Okay. Before
coming to the UK. So it was great living in Nigeria for when I was young till about 6.5, and then moved over here with my brother and my sister, because there was 3 of us at the time before we moved here. So it was fun, and I think I love the fun part because we got to I don't know, I guess we got to explore two different types of living.
Yeah.
You know, even though some people, some of us might not, I don't think my siblings will remember much of Nigeria. I know I do in certain parts, and I thought it was quite fun. It was interesting. And then obviously growing up in the UK, that was also fun and interesting. The adjustment in that, you know, making new friends and just the life in general, that was quite fun. But then the heartbreaking part was when my dad died. So I was about 11 and a half. Yeah, I was about 11 and a half when my dad died. So that was pretty heartbreaking because a lot of people know their dads, you know, throughout the whole life. They're there. So I only got to know my dad 11 years of my life. And then my brother was only 10 years. Then my sister was 9. And then my youngest brother, sibling, he was only like 2.5. So, yeah, so he knew who my dad was. And my mum always says this, that when the day that my dad died, my youngest brother, he was very ill. He was crying. He was sick. They didn't know until when they got the news. So it was just like he knew something. He knew something had gone wrong. So that's why he wasn't. So he was like that for like a few days. So yes, it was heartbreaking when my dad died, and then the other one was growing up because I had to grow up quite quickly. So it was 4 of us. So imagine my mum having 4 kids at the age of 30. So losing your husband at the age of 30, that's quite. Was she even 30? No, she was actually 29.
Wow.
So yeah, so she hadn't actually turned 30 yet. So she was actually 29 when she lost her husband. So she's now with 4 kids. So yeah, I had to grow up quite quickly. You know, like now be like almost like my mum's helping hand, her assistant kind of way. So I had to grow up quite quickly, helping out with my brother and my sister, with the house, you know, living. And so it was, so I had to grow up quite quick, very, very quickly.
Would you say that was the defining moment in your younger years?
I'd say yes, because I began to look at life a lot more, I don't know, I guess in a mature sense. Because obviously, as a kid, you just live life. You do whatever. You want to go out, you want to do this, you want to do that. But then, like, as an adult, you have to, like, think of, okay, are my siblings okay? Is my mum okay? Do we have this in the house? You know, I have to, you know, drop them to school or take them to school because the 3 of us were at the same school, but then my brother was at nursery. So I'd come home sometimes, pick him up from nursery while my mum was at work. And all this just, it was a defining thing. Yeah, and I think in terms of how I see things now, just as an adult, sometimes I'm like, even when grown adults do certain things, I'm like, that's super childish. Like, why you gotta do that? Like, why you gotta behave like that? Why you gotta talk like that? So yeah, so the growing up part, it has helped, like throughout life, because I had to grow up very quickly. Yeah.
What would you say to younger Talu having to do all of that? Before that you know now.
Now that I know now, what would I say to her? Just, it's unfortunate, but just I don't think I would get her to change anything. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep trying, you know, keep helping and remaining respectful and humble. Because I think those key things are really, really important. And people see you differently as well. They see you completely differently. Like, and especially when they know the circumstances, then they meet you and they speak to you and they're like, but aren't you meant to be quite young? Like, how can you talk and behave and be acting and, you know, like that? I'm like, so I'd be like, just remain humble and remain respectful. And that would just get you through it. It's hard.
Yeah, definitely.
But you'll get through it.
When you were younger, what did you want to become when you got older? And did that change when that defining moment happened?
I think at that point I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Like I think at the age of 10, 11, I didn't really know. I think, to be honest, I think I was in between like wanting to be like in a band, in a music band, and then wanting to be a pilot.
It was this.
It's so different.
The singing pilot.
That would have been so good. Lady Singing Pilot. That would have been so good. So good, yeah. So I knew that because, like, I remember around like 11, 10, 12, I wanted to be like maybe in the pop band singing or a pilot because I really, like, I don't know what it is. I like pilot. And I think it might be a bit crazy because, actually, no, it's not crazy because my dad was actually in the army.
Okay.
So I have a lineage of people in the army, in the navy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, maybe I should do something along those lines.
Yeah.
Maybe be a pilot, kind of. So those are the two things.
There's a linkage.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there was. Now, do you know what? Now thinking about it, it's just made sense. It's just actually made sense. It's like, oh yeah, that's why. That's why. So, did it change as I grew up? Yes, it did. It did. When I was in like middle school, the wanting to be the music stuff, like wanting to be in a band, because my friends and I, we used to like we were in a girl group, in a group type thing. So we used to do a lot of.
What was the girl group called?
I don't think we even had an.
You had a name.
Wait, what was it?
Yeah, I knew there was
something Crush.
Whoa, what kind of? Whoa.
It was something Crush. I know we had a concert called Cool Crush, but then we flipped the name of the Crush into something else. I can't remember what it was called, but I remember us being in a girl group.
Yeah. And
then we used to do a lot of the talent shows at school. And there was one talent show that we did, and we were eternal. So I took the lead as, what's her name? Esther. Was it Esther or Kelly? No, Kelly.
Yeah.
Was it Kelly? Oh, no. I can't remember the lead singer's name now. So I took her role. And apparently, one of my teachers said that, you've got a really good voice. I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
What?
So what happened?
I don't know. I don't know. I think we just went to high school, and that was it.
That's what happens when the girl groups just break. They go their separate ways.
They just go their separate ways. Honestly, they go their separate ways. Half of them are like married. They've got kids. She's like, I think we're probably the only one who's still yet to be like, so yeah, wagwan. Where's the fruits? But I'm like, look, I'm winning in other ways. You know. Yeah. But so that just kind of went. And then I guess the other side of music and entertainment developed after college. Yeah.
So what was the path that you feel like you wanted to go down when you hit college there? So you hit college and you're like, okay, music, So how do you go from, I want to be a part of the music, to then wanting to be kind of in and around it from the radio, TV presenter?
So in college, I think I wanted to do music management. So I wanted to be an artist manager. Yeah, so I don't know what it was, but I just feel like I know I wanted to be in the entertainment. I wanted to be like an A&R. That was it. I wanted to be a hotshot A&R manager, director, or A&R mogul, because I used to watch the likes of this guy. Some people might know who he is. So I think it was J-Lo's manager at the time, or Mariah Carey, but Benny Medina.
Oh yeah.
So he's a really huge A&R manager kind of thing. And I was like, oh my God, I want to be like him. And then there were the likes of L.A. Reid, and then you had Clive Davis and all these guys who like used to put these artists together. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I want to be like these guys. Yeah. So much so that there was one time we wanted to do work experience and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to hit up all these record labels to do work experience. Yeah. So I hit up Universal, I hit up Atlantic at the time, even Def Jam.
You hit up everybody.
Sony at the time as well. So all of them, I hit up all of them in the UK. And I even so far as went to, I was like, you know what? And I think this is the first time I ever dared to dream outside of the UK. I actually sent in a letter, not email, no, not email, no. I sent a letter to Arista Records. That was the one, Arista Records was where the likes of TLC, who else was there? That record label at the time in America. I sent them a letter, and I actually got a letter back. I said, unfortunately, damn, how am I going to get into this industry? Like, I really want to go to these places. I want to work in these labels. So that didn't quite happen. And then the opportunity to do, so my college at the time was wanting to set up a radio station. And then I thought, my friend at the time, who was like, why don't we just see what they were talking about? So I said, okay, cool. So then we went to the talk and everything like that. Literally within a couple of weeks, we were setting up a radio station at college. We were, doing playlists. We were writing scripts. We were building the studio, doing this and that. And I was just like, oh my God. So that's when I first got the taste
Yeah.
of doing radio, and that's how I fell into radio, because that was not what I wanted. It really was not what I wanted to do. I was bent on doing this A&R. I wanted to work for record labels. I have an internship with some independent record labels as well. If y'all know XR Recordings, I did an internship there. And that was Adele's former label.
Yeah.
So I was there as well. And that was really cool. And I really wanted to go. But then when this radio thing came along, and I was just like, oh my God, like, okay, this could be good. So that's from the college time, that's where radio started. And I did not want to do it, but God has a funny way of showing you in a roundabout things. And it was only like, maybe I was in my second or third year at a particular radio station. And I realized, I was like, wait, so you were taking me down this path because I would still be in the industry, but just for the kingdom. I was like, wow, okay. Now I see why those ones didn't work out. So that was why. So yeah, that's how I got here.
What would you say are the highlights of your radio career at the moment?
Oh my gosh. Highlights. I think, oh my gosh. You know what, this might sound a bit, I don't know, a bit somehow, but it was actually when I got nominated for an award, and that was, I think that was probably like my second year into it.
Wow.
And I was just like, why are you nominating me for? Like, no, for real. For real. I was like, why?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm like, why are you nominating me for? Like, I don't understand. Like, why are you me? Like, there are so many other people who've been doing this for such a long time. They should be getting nominated. Like, but why are you nominating me for the first time? Like, I ain't done nothing. I've really just started. Yeah. So that was, I think, at that very stage, that was a highlight for me then, because I was like, wow, okay, you don't know who's watching, because you're just doing what you enjoy doing. Yeah. Because I prayed to God, I said, the next radio job I do, I said, I'll do this, but if the next one that I do, if you want me to do this, I'll do it. I gotta get paid. I can't do it for free no more. No.
A package job, talking a lot.
I'm telling you. I was like, God, listen, I love this, but can I get paid for it? Yeah. So that was a good thing. And then other highlights, I think other highlights probably was just like realizing that this thing that I'm doing is bigger than me. And also, I guess, interviewing. You know what, yeah, I think that Trafalgar Square one was the highlight. Being in Trafalgar Square, 10,000 people, even thousands more online, and doing that event, and I was just like, yo, this is huge. And I felt like that was a taste of possibly bigger things to come. And I was like, wow, God you put me in front of this. And even the way that happened, I was just like, God, okay. And I was scared. I was just like, I'm used to like a few hundred. But 10,000 people, when you now walk onto that stage, you're just like, because you've got the Archbishop of England one side, then you've got like all the heads of like all the, you know, public services, the fire, you know, the Met, you're standing next to Cressida the Dick, and you're just like, okay. Then you're standing next to one of the head of the Jewish community. And then, you know, and then you're standing next to, and I was just like, how is this even possible? Like, how am I even here? And then you walk out into that stage, you've seen 10,000 people, you are encouraging them, they're feeding back, and even more. And I was just like, wow, this is crazy. So I think for me, that is a big highlight. And I was like, wow, God, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this exposure. Thank you for this platform that I'm able to do this. And I know for a fact there were non-Christians in that audience as well as Christians. They got to see how we celebrate, how we worship, and how our faith is so important to us and why we do what we do, and, you know, who God is. And I know it was by video, but then introducing like the Pope. Like who introduces the Pope? Get to introduce a Pope via video. And I'm just like, how is this? So yeah, so for me, that was a highlight, and I felt like that was an introduction of, I guess, bigger levels to come for me. So yeah.
Before we kind of move on, I just want to first congratulate you for everything that you've done so far.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I
you.
also want to say thank you for putting yourself in different positions where we can see not only yourself glow and grow, but we've seen how you navigate certain spaces, which then makes it possible for people like me get to enter those spaces because of how you navigated them.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's weird. It's just weird you saying that because I think I just do what I do, but then deep down in the back of my mind, I'm reminded that like, even though I do things that like no one's watching, sometimes I'm reminded people are watching.
Yeah.
People are watching. So continue, just be you, remain you, but remember, you're the first representation of who God is. So live, act, and be like God, but still be you at the same time. Because some people think Christianity is boring. I'm just like, because I remember I had an inbox. Someone messaged me in the inbox. They were like, thank you so much for like making this Christian thing look like you can have fun.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Like you can have fun. Because some people think that you can't have fun as a Christian. And I'm like, thank you for doing that. Da, da, da. And I was just sat there reading. I was there for ages. And I was just like, God, do people really think being a Christian means not, you know, not being free to do things?
Yeah.
They just want to be, you have to be closed. You have to be Bible, read, study. It's just like, no.
There's other elements to us.
Exactly. There's other elements to us. So, yeah, I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful to be able to do my little bit.
In 2020, you left your job, your radio station at the time. Do you feel like at this current moment in time that was still the right decision, and why?
Yes, it was definitely the right decision for me. It's funny, like when I handed it in, there was a voice in my head was like, are you sure that was the right thing to do? Like, are you really sure? But how are you going to do this? How are you going to get by? How are you going to... All these little doubts start to creep in. And I was just like, no. There was a plan, there's a reason. And to be honest with you, like, I actually should have left maybe a few years before that, but I didn't because I didn't obey and I didn't listen. So it got to where it did. And then it was just like, I was like, God, something needs to happen because either I go to jail or somebody else, somebody else. But they're going to be reading about me a bit differently if something happens because I'll be like, something needs to happen. So, yeah, it was definitely the right decision. I mean, and in fact, when the pandemic hit, because it was all going, okay, but then when that pandemic hit, oh my God, like, then I thought to myself, again, that thought crept in again. Should you really have left? Should you? This and that. But then it was like, no, it was the right decision because the little opportunities that then happened, I was like, but if I was still there, I wouldn't be able to have this, or I wouldn't have this level of like exposure. I'll still be Lady T doing this. Because you're like, it's like when you've been doing something for such a long time, that's all you know. That's what people know you for. Like that's, you pretty much define yourself. So it was just like, I was just like, nah, there's more. So when these little things started to happen, these little opportunities, you know, and I thank God because I was able to get through that period. You know, God provided, you know, people were, you know, how you doing? Are you okay? How's things going? But don't get me wrong, there were times where I was just like, what is going on? Like giving up, I'm tired, when are things gonna change? And like, I was emotional. There were days where I'd actually be crying. I'd be like, and my housemate would be like, it's okay, it's all gonna be fine. And my mum's be like, don't worry, because I can sense that my mum knew something was wrong. She felt like, you're not yourself, what's wrong? And then but I had to somehow find my way out of it. Thank God for my manager who kind of like said, he was just always encouraging, and then found little things to do. So, but then still, I'm like, I made the right decision. Even though it's hard now, it's hard, but it was still the right decision for me. Like, I needed to. I really needed to do it.
Do you trust God more now?
ah, I do. I didn't
Mm.
before. I can't lie. I'm going to be real with you. I didn't trust God as much as it's like your faith or you as a Christian, you're only tested when you have literally nothing. And I mean zero. We're all good when we got something. We're like, and then we forget them prayers that we prayed before, and you know, and we just continue to coast. But when you have nothing, there's nothing to fall back on. There's nothing. Looking at your account, it's zero, those zeros. Oh, zeros. It's nothing. And I really had to find God again. I had to find out who He was. I had to remember that He's Jehovah Jireh, He's the provider. I really had to learn who He was again and trust again. And, you know, and now, even till today, there are times where I feel like, oh my God, like, I need to trust God. I need to trust God. I need to trust God. Because there are times where I'm just like, how? But then, like, the how is like, He's there. Like, just ask. Because I struggle with asking, even God, I struggle with asking God for things as well. But now, I do trust Him more. I do. Like, this journey is not like easy. I think when people see me and they see me just doing things online, they think, oh, you know, it's good. But you didn't know that I was just crying like about maybe half an hour ago about something. But then I've had to like get out of it and come on and do this. And but yeah, I definitely trust Him more now. Like, I have to. There's nothing else you can do. There's no one else to trust. So now I trust Him, 100% more. 100% more.
After leaving that radio station in 2020, people doubting your ability, doubting what you could do, how do you then fall back in love with radio? And how do you then fall back in love with yourself and what you can do?
Man, I can't. That took such a long time. Like, when it's mad. Like when you know that you've been doing things, you're good at what you do, and then like you know, and people tell you you're good, and you know yourself, like you begin to say, yeah, I'm actually pretty decent. Thank you, Lord, for this skill. And then all of a sudden, when someone says to you that, you know, we don't think you're capable enough, and I'm like, wait, I'm not capable. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have the capability to do my job. And I'm just like how can you say that to someone? And when that happened, like literally, when I say that I doubted everything, like you then begin to think, I can't do things right. When you try to do something, it's wrong. When it's the same thing that you've been doing for so many years has been good, and you're doing it, all of a sudden it's wrong. And you're just like, you can't do anything right. And then you get X'd out from things that you would normally be doing, that it's your thing to do. And I'm like, wow. So going into 2020, thinking about that, it must have taken me like, so what? Even when lockdown happened in March, I didn't really get out of that space until like July. It was about July, August time. Like, you know, you had friends encouraging you that you can do it. Like, but look at what you've accomplished. You can't let one person's word like define those years and say that you can't do your job. And the confidence was just shut down. Like, no confidence. I didn't have trust in myself. I couldn't. And then when you look at yourself and then you kind of like see where you're at, and it's like, is this now? This is me now. This is life now, isn't it? Like, I can't do my thing. I don't do anything. And it was just like, what's the point in doing anything now? Like, can't be bothered. You know, no one's gonna want to pay attention. People only know you for what you were doing, and now that you've left, who knows you, kind of thing. And it wasn't till two people, if not for these two people, kind of like wanting me to do things. I'm not quite sure how far. I don't know if I'll still be here with you. I mean, I would.
But in what capacity?
Yeah, that's the thing. What would I be doing if I'm sat here? Like, why would you want to talk to me? Do you get what I mean? Why do you still want to why do you want to find out who Lady T is? Do you get what I mean? So, if not for, and to get back into the radio again, I didn't want to do radio for a long time. I said, I don't want to do radio for a year. Like, I said to God, I don't want to do radio for a year. I'm not really into it. I want to focus on doing more TV stuff. Yeah. I want to focus on doing more of the podcast stuff. Like, that's where I want to do my thing. Radio, I don't really want to do. If an opportunity comes up, then maybe I would. But to get back into radio again, I was just like, I'm not sure. I don't know. But then when I was asked to do the Lyrically Speaking, and that was because of an interview that I did with an artist. That was just off the cuff. I said, okay, you know what, let's do an interview. Because I was like, I might as well just do something.
Yeah.
So I did that. And then I was like, and he's like, okay, you know what? I love what you just did. How about we do this on a bigger scale? How about we do this like as a series of like other. I was like, why would you want to do that? He said, why not? Like, he was like, you're really good. Like, you're really good at what you do, and I want that to come, and I want that to. I want people to see that with other artists. And I was like, wow. So within like 3 or 4 weeks, I started Lyrically Speaking, and then the other one was Roger, Roger Moore. So he told me about this opportunity, like, oh, you know, we've got this radio thing going. I didn't get it at first. And then he kept on calling. He was like, I want you to be a part of it. I want you to come and do a show. I was like, nah. He still kept calling. I said, I'll think about it. But when he kept pushing, and then I prayed about it, and then I spoke to my mom and my friend. They were like, well, just do it. See how it goes. You know, at least it's just the radio. It's on the side. And I was like, okay. So then I did. So then I just started then. But the fact that he kept calling and wanting me to be a part of it, he obviously saw something. He was like, but you're good at what you do. You're good at what you do. So I want people to be able to see that. I want people to be able to, you know, see how good of a presenter that you are, like why you have been asked, you know, just the accomplishments that you have and why you're a good radio presenter. And I was like, okay. So then I did it. And now we're here a year later. So if not for those 2 opportunities last year, I don't know what I'd be doing now. I don't know if I still have the confidence to even want to even get in front of a mic or get behind a mic or do anything in front of like TV or whatever. I don't know if I would. But those 2 opportunities were really the booster for me to get back into it.
Do you feel like you're now at the best version of yourself? Or do you feel like you're evolved or evolution of who you are?
I'm evolved. I'm more evolving now. My best version of myself, I feel like that's continuous. That's a continuous thing. So I'm on my way there, slowly, and I'm accepting more things. And I think one of the key things I've learned is being enough. Like, again, I didn't think I was enough. I don't think I'm enough in like when it comes to my work stuff or being enough for friends or being enough, you know, am I enough in a relationship? Do you get what I mean? And even that is another story in itself, because I'm just like, am I enough for someone to love me? But then I have to be in a place to be able to love myself before someone else can love me, because I can't rely on someone's love or happiness to make me happy. I got to be happy. So I think now I'm in a better place where, like, yeah, you're growing, you're evolving, you're beautiful, you got it. Like, keep working at it, keep practicing, keep doing. So yes, I'm definitely evolving and getting better at things, and I think there's still so much more. Like, I'm not in the. I feel like I'm starting again.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I really feel like I'm starting again, and now, like, I've moved away from the Lady T, from the radio presenter, like, you know, the Premier Gospel, like, that's who people knew me. So I'm now shifting into a place where, like, I'm Lady T, like, the personality, the radio presenter, the host, the podcaster. I'm all these things, not just one thing. Because that was difficult to do, to get myself just from being that one thing.
Yeah.
So now I feel like I'm now in a space where I'm able to shift into different areas, and then obviously doing the chair for GMIA as well, unexpected, but I'm that kind of responsibility. So, yeah, there's a lot of shifting and growing happening.
How long do you think it is before Lady T is a household name?
Oh my God. How are you going to hit me with a question like that? How long? I don't know. I want it to be sooner, man. I would love for it to be within the next 2 years. I would love for that to be in the next 2 years because that's where I really, yeah. I hope in the next 2 years. I'm praying to God that it is in the next 2 years because I think I'd literally be in my prime and ready to I'm ready.
Yeah.
I really am ready. And I guess there's always going to be an opportunity. You just got to wait for that opportunity. But in the meantime, I'm doing things and hopefully whatever I'm doing will then lead to that opportunity. You know, because I can't lie. Looking at other, comparison was a big thing as well for me last year because I compared myself with a lot of people that I saw online. I'm like, why are they, how come, I'm like, oh my God, but that's what I want to be doing. That's where I want to be. Like, how come she's doing this or how come he's doing that? Like, how come they got that opportunity? Like, and then you just look at yourself and like, but what am I not doing right? What am I not doing? You know, but then everybody's path is different, isn't it? To the point where I was just like, oh, maybe I need to start showing a bit of chest, or maybe I need to show a bit of backside. I need to start doing this to maybe get a bit noticed, this and that. No disrespect to anybody, but like, I'm just like, that's the culture now, isn't it? Like, you got to show a little something to get something.
Oh,
so I was like, oh my God. And you know what? When that thought was crossing my mind, I was just like, but is that what Christ wants you to do? Is that how you've gotten to where you have?
Yeah.
Because you've gotten to where you are now because you've been yourself. You've not had to be like other people. So for me, I'm just like, my path is different, and I'm praying in the next 2 years that happens, like the household name happens. I want to be Oprah, man. I want to be like Oprah. I want to do Oprah style levels. I want to do Steve Harvey type levels. I want to do, you know, the Ellens. Like, those are the people that I look at. I'm like, that's where I want to be. That's the kind of level in terms of shows and entertainment and opportunities that they give. That's the level I want to be at. And that's what I'm working towards.
My last question to you. With where you're at in life right now, what encouragement would you give to yourself?
Oh my God. What encouragement would I give to myself? Man, I think it would be definitely what you said. Trust God more. Continue to trust God. He's able. That I am enough. Because, like I said, half the time I don't feel like I'm enough. That I don't have enough of what people want, or, you know, don't compromise on your values and your belief system. I say that because, and I'm going to say, I'm going to say actually, because when it comes to work stuff, like I don't mess about. Like don't do nonsense. If you're going to carry on doing that, there will be a time where I will tell you nicely, I don't. When it comes to the, you know, relationship things, because I found sometimes that I would nearly compromise my values because of a guy. And no one should do that. If a guy or a woman can't respect you for what you believe, then allow it. And I've come so close to like, just forget it. Like, you know what? Yeah, Christian, yeah, whatever. I'll just go to God for forgiveness. But I have to, like, I can't take God's forgiveness for granted every single time just because of a guy. And I would also say to myself that love yourself. Don't wait for a guy to love you. Don't wait for a guy to love you. Don't wait for a guy to you know, show you respect. Don't. Do all that for yourself. And if the right person sees it, they sees it. If it doesn't, if someone tries to kind of like talk to you and be like, no, you're not rolling with that. If that's not you, that's okay, it's cool. But you're enough. Don't compromise on your values and your belief system just for a guy, even if he's a Christian. Don't do it. Don't do it. And just keep dreaming, keep believing. Those visuals that you have, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's in God's time, even though you're about to be a certain age. It's in God's time, and it will all work out eventually. So yeah, that's what I would tell myself. My encouragement to myself. There's more I could say, but I know for time. But yeah, those are the things. Yeah.
Lady T,
Ah,
thank you.
thank you. I survived not crying.
I told you weren't gonna cry.
I had my tissues ready. I felt myself go at one point, but I was like, no, hold it back. Hold it back. But no, thank you. I appreciate it. This was really good.
No, I really appreciate you.
Felt like a therapy session a little bit, you know.
Really?
Yeah, it's very like, wow, you actually said that. Okay. Good on you, girl. Yes. But yeah, no, it was great. Thank you so much. It's been so good. So good. I loved it. TJ Haych, everybody. He's the dude. He's that guy. Hello. Montel Williams, watch out. Actually, not Montel Williams.
Is Montel Williams even still about? Like that?
He is, you know.
Is he?
Yeah. But anyway, he's going to be better than him. So, yeah, we're here.
Montel, I'm coming for you, you know. Anyway.
And Steve as well. Shout out to Steve.
Thank you guys for watching Conversation with Haych with the amazing it's close.
Solu Lokbe. Should I say my full name? My full name. Do you want to say it?
Thank you guys for watching Conversation with Haych with
Solu Lokbe Olaiton Ayinke Onyade Adipugba. There you go. Also, that is Lady T.
We'll have more content with you very soon.